Good morning, students. Today we will continue our lecture on study of gas laws. This lecture is presented by me, Pranit Ghatak, your chemistry teacher. So, let's begin. Today's topic is the concept of absolute zero. Okay, so we should start our discussion. Okay, so what is absolute zero? The definition. What is the definition of absolute zero? So absolute zero is the lowest possible temperature, and something at this temperature has the lowest possible internal energy. Okay, so you have already been seen this term, this absolute zero, in the or absolute scale in the form of Charles law. Okay, in the form of Charles law, you have already seen the term about absolute scale. The temperature should be in the absolute scale. Okay, so the absolute scale means the absolute scale means, okay, just one thing I have to, okay, absolute scale. Absolute means Kelvin scale. Okay, so whenever we use this Kelvin scale, we got the absolute values. Okay, we know that 0 degree C is equal to 270 Kelvin. Okay, 270 Kelvin. Okay, and this 270 Kelvin is 0 degree C is not an absolute value, but 273 Kelvin is the absolute value because it is expressed in terms of Kelvin scale. Okay, so whenever a degree Celsius is being expressed, whenever a value of degree Celsius is being expressed in terms of Kelvin scale, it is called as the absolute value. Okay, so and the Kelvin scale is called the absolute scale as well. Okay, so what is absolute zero? It is being said that the absolute zero is the lowest possible temperature, and something at this temperature internal energy is very much zero. Okay, almost zero. We cannot say absolute figure, but it is almost negligible or almost minimum. Okay, and this absolute zero is the lowest possible temperature. That means absolute zero is called the 0 Kelvin. Okay, that means minus 273 degrees Celsius. So this is the 0 Kelvin, that is when I written at 0 K. Okay, 0 K. It is not okay, it is 0 K. Okay, so at 0 Kelvin, that is minus 273 degrees Celsius, it is being called as the absolute zero. It is hardly possible to achieve. Okay, this temperature is almost impossible to achieve by the scientists as well till now. Okay, at this very low temperature, what happens? At this very low temperature, all the motions, that is in the case of any molecule, we have mainly three motions. That is, for any molecule we have mainly three motions: rotation, vibration, and translation. Okay, this all these factors are not in your syllabus, but for better understanding of this concept, why the internal energy of the molecule gets almost to a zero. Okay, why it is happening? To know this thing, we have to know some basic concept. Okay, that is why I am explaining this to you. Okay, other than that, this rotation, translation, and vibration uh, concept is not in your syllabus. Okay, so any molecule do three things, that is rotation, vibration, and translation. Okay, so due to these three things, it gains some energy, and this energy is being called as internal energy. Internal energy. Internal energy. Okay, so any molecule does three things. Okay, that is rotation, vibration, and translation. Okay, so due to doing these three things, it gains some energy of its own. This energy, this energy is being called as internal energy. Okay, but at 0 Kelvin means minus 273 degrees Celsius, this rotation, translation, and vibration, all these three parameters or three subjects almost cease to exist. That means at this very low temperature, this rotational energy and transition energy and vibration energy does not exist, because the molecule at this very low temperature cannot rotate, cannot translate, as well as they cease to vibrate. Okay, at this very low temperature. Okay, that is why as the rotation, translation, and the vibrations being ceased to exist, that is why the internal energy almost becomes almost negligible. There are internal energy, internal energy becomes almost tends to zero, negligible or tends to zero. So we get a minimum amount of internal energy in the absolute zero. So please, I'm repeating myself. What is absolute zero? Absolute zero is the 0 Kelvin. Okay, 0 Kelvin at that temperature. This is the minimum, this is the lowest temperature possible. Okay, and it is highly, it is almost impossible for scientists till now to achieve that temperature. And at this temperature, the internal energy is almost minimum. Okay, almost tends to zero. Why it is tends to zero? Because at the 0 Kelvin or minus 273 degrees Celsius, at that very low temperature, the molecule cannot rotate, cannot translate, as well as vibrate. That is why the internal energy almost tends to zero, because the internal energy of a molecule that can come from the rotation, vibration, and the translational motion. Okay, as the transitional, rotational, and vibrational motion is being ceased to exist at minus 273 degrees Celsius, that is in at 0 Kelvin, that is at absolute zero, that is why the internal energy almost tends to zero or minimum. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this absolute zero and the absolute scale concept clearly. Okay, if you have any kind of doubt, you can always ask me in the comment section below. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you very much.